Have you ever watched a movie that completely changed your life? Like you feel like you're a brand new person after watching it. You feel like life can't possibly go back to being the same as it was before you watched this movie. You're kind of sad you'll never be able to experience it for the first time again. Well, for me, that movie is a little film from 2023 called Saltburn.
You all right?
Yeah, I've got a flat tire.
Take my bike.
Hey, that was so kind. Thank you. I'm sorry I don't know your name. I'm Felix.
Oliver.
Oliver. Oliver, I love you.
What have you done? I don't think I'll ever go home again.
Written and directed by Emerald Fennell, Saltburn is a complex and deeply rewarding examination of class struggle and wealth inequality. Set in a nostalgic mid-2000s England, our main character Oliver struggles to fit in at college, but finds refuge in a disgustingly rich and even more disgustingly handsome acquaintance named Felix. The two grow close as summer break approaches, then it's off to the races as nerd and jock alike get ready for the performance of a lifetime. As Troy experiences a life of privilege he's never known, will he give up the Wildcats and Gabriella to rise to the top? Sorry. I got a little carried away there. I don't know what I was even talking about. I didn't mean to bring up High School Musical or Saltburn. One of those movies is really good, and one of those movies is Saltburn.
Yeah, it's like...
The movie that actually changed my life is James Cameron's Avatar: The Way of Water. As a little warning, this video is probably going to be a longer one, so strap in, but like James Cameron himself said about The Way of Water, feel free to take a bathroom break or any other kind of break anytime during this video because you'll just catch what you missed the next time you watch it. Released at the very end of 2022, Avatar: The Way of Water is the second film in what very could turn out to be the longest running sci-fi franchise in movie history. I remember when the first sequels to the original Avatar were announced. It was an exciting day for fans of the franchise, but to everyone else it was just another Tuesday, or Wednesday, or whatever day that was. See, Avatar 2 was originally supposed to come a long time ago. Planned to originally release in December of 2014, Avatar 2 wouldn't even enter pre-production until that same year. With Avatar 1 making as much money as it did, a sequel or multiple sequels weren't a surprise. But as time went on, people kind of began to wonder how much hype really was behind this franchise and how much longer Avatar could live on without any movies. The first film blew up the box office, there's no other way to put it, and it now ranks as the second highest grossing movie of all time when adjusted for inflation, just behind Gone with the Wind. It's hard to describe the original Avatar to people who didn't live through its initial release. It felt like the entire world turned blue and grew tails, if for only a brief moment. There's a lot to talk about Avatar having no cultural impact, which I will unpack later, but this argument completely skips past the initial wave of Avatar fever, which was very much a real thing in 2009. I mean, you had people claiming they were depressed after watching Avatar 1, because real life sucked compared to what was in Pandora. The original Avatar was that rare film where it felt like everyone could put aside their differences and just enjoy it together. And this really doesn't happen that often. The most recent example, or most relevant example I can think of, is what happened with Barbenheimer.
Hey, Barbie. Can I come to your house tonight?
Sure. I don't have anything big planned, just a giant blowout party with all the Barbies and planned choreography and a bespoke song. You should stop by.
So cool.
If you weren't there to see Barbie and Oppenheimer both on their opening days, where were you? Obviously, Barbie had kind of a pre-built fan base going into it. It certainly had some help there. But still, these two movies surpassed pretty much everyone's expectations, both critically and commercially. More importantly, they were just pretty good movies that garnered genuine excitement from moviegoers, something that's seemingly becoming more rare each year. And Avatar was just one of the first movies I recall everyone stopping what they're doing to see it and to talk about it, and everyone had something to say about it. For a very brief time, Avatar did dominate pop culture. Like, who remembers getting these little toys from McDonald's? I do. However, there would be a long drought of content for fans of the franchise. Eventually, after a lot of waiting and a lot of delays, it was confirmed Avatar 2 would hit theaters on December 17th, 2021. Avatar 3 was to release 2 years later on December 22nd, 2023. Avatar 4 on December 19th, 2025, and Avatar 5 on December 17th, 2027. Well, It is now November 2025, and we've only seen 2 Avatar films hit the theaters. There is a third movie supposedly coming out next month called Avatar: Fire and Ash, but the fact that the Avatar franchise has gone on this long and has been this successful with only 2 movies under its belt is honestly, what is it? Confusing? Surprising? Impressive? What is the Avatar franchise? To Disney, it's literal gold. To the movie industry, it marks maybe the most important and significant advancement of computer-generated effects ever. To the internet, it's all pointless garbage that nobody cares about. Well, this brings me to my main point of discussion in this video. I care about Avatar. Let's just get this out of the way right now. Avatar 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time, and it is legitimately one of the greatest works of art of the modern era. This may sound hyperbolic, like I'm exaggerating for the video, but no, I genuinely, deeply love Avatar 2 and grow to appreciate it more each time I watch it. I will never, ever forget the first time I sat down in the IMAX, put my little 3D glasses on, and re-entered the world of Pandora with Avatar 2. I saw Way of Water twice when it first released, both times in IMAX 3D, and it was amazing. I made sure to catch it 2 more times back when they re-released it earlier this year, and it was still amazing. I miss seeing the original Avatar in 3D and IMAX back when it came out, but you can't really blame me. I was a little baby. I was a little dumb little baby back then. And to be honest, I don't even know if I would have been that interested to see what James Cameron was doing with this weird blue people CGI computer generated blockbuster. I was probably a lot like you. Yeah, you. No, you. Yeah, you, the person watching this video that doesn't care about Avatar and thinks it's like a ripoff of Pocahontas or Fern Gully.
Humans don't have tails. They have big bottoms that they wear with bad shorts.
Now, 20th Century Fox invites you to witness the wonder, the music, and the adventure of a place worlds away from anything you've ever seen.
This brings me to Avatar 2. Avatar's back. So what? I thought to myself. What's so special about this movie and this franchise? It's not every day a sequel to a film comes out this long after its original. I mean, I was 11 years old when the first Avatar came out. When Way of Water dropped, I was 24. The novelty of something taking so long and costing so much money and requiring so much effort wasn't lost on me, and I knew deep down that this was something to experience regardless of my interest in the franchise as a whole. I'm not just talking about seeing the movie in theaters or seeing it in IMAX. I'm talking about being immersed in the lead up and the release of the actual movie, being involved in the history of it and the moment. I think people really underestimate how big of a deal these Avatar movies actually are. Brushing them off as glorified tech demos misses the point entirely. In this day and age, people seem to have forgotten what movies actually are. I'm not surprised in our post-art, AI-filled age that we've forgotten motion pictures are a visual medium first and foremost.
Wait, I'm confused about the movie. So the cops knew that Internal Affairs was setting them up?
What are you talking about? There's nothing like that in there.
I see, when I get bored, I make up my own movie. I have a very short attention span.
But our point is very simple. You see, when...
Oh, look, a bird!
But still, the reaction to the Avatar franchise, as well as more forward-thinking blockbusters like the recent 28 Years Later and even Furiosa, concern me and give me a bad feeling about where we are headed culturally. I hear this a lot when it comes to talking about Avatar. You only like Avatar because it looks pretty. Huh? Right. Yeah, I like the movie, famous for how good it looks, because of how good it looks. Really got me there. I feel like I'm stuck in that Drew Gooden vine, and the road work ahead is me liking Avatar movies.
Road work ahead? Yeah, I sure hope it does.
Yeah. Look, I'm not saying movies don't need interesting story points, engaging character moments, a good script even, but these are all secondary, yeah, to how the actual picture looks on your screen. A lot of people choose to criticize these films because they make the assertion the fans only care about how they look. First of all, it's not weird to like a movie because of the way it looks. There's so many movies, in fact, that I connect with because of their visuals, and in some cases, in spite of their subject matter or plot. The same goes the other way. There's a lot of movies I don't like simply because of how they look. A great example of this is How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the one with Jim Carrey. Something about this wretched film makes me sick, like actually ill. The movie looks like how your dreams feel when you have the flu. Ugh, it's nasty. Anyway, circling back around to Avatar, The Way of Water is simply the best looking movie ever made. Wait. Okay, that is actually a little bit hyperbolic. I think there's several movies I would give that title to, but Avatar 2 definitely ranks pretty high, and each time I watch it, I tend to agree more with that original claim. Okay, here's a little exercise. Think about all the movies famous for being beautiful, stunning works of art. First thing that comes to my mind is David Lynch's body of work, especially Mulholland Drive and Eraserhead. Both of these movies have some of my favorite scenes and shots in all of motion picture history in them. It's always a joy to go back and rewatch clips and the making of these movies because they are such rich works of art and are amazing to look at. I'm literally in awe of how awesome and cool and epic and swagged out this scene in particular looks in Mulholland Drive. It's mind-blowing. There's tons of movies out there regarded almost purely for the way they look. The original Fantasia comes to mind. The list goes on, and there's so many movies out there that kind of rose to prominence for looking beautiful. And beautiful in this context doesn't mean like pleasing, it just means these are real works of art with real thought behind them, amazing blocking, that kind of thing. But could you easily explain the plot to any of these movies? Could you tell me what they are supposed to mean? Could you look at me with a straight face and tell me there are no plot holes in these movies? That none of these films have moments that are lifted from other works of art even? Could you even tell me that a big reason that you enjoy these movies isn't the way they look? If so, good for you. My goal with this exercise isn't to call you out or make you feel dumb, but I'm just trying to figure out why people love to complain about the plots of the Avatar movies when A, they've never seen them, 2, this isn't a problem exclusive to the Avatar franchise, and 3, who cares? Movies are movies. You wouldn't listen to a song if you got no enjoyment out of the way the notes sounded. You wouldn't eat food that you didn't actually enjoy the taste of. So why would visuals not be the first and, dare I say, most important thing we look at when talking about movies? One of the most common things I see about the Avatar franchise online is that their visuals are the only thing that matters and that they are emotionally inept, bland, and unoriginal. Avatar and its sequel, The Way of Water, definitely don't break new ground with their plots or their characters. How many movies actually do? Was the original Terminator a breakthrough for the action and sci-fi genres? Yes. Did it spawn one of the world's most highly regarded film franchises ever? Yeah, if you ignore some of the sequels. Is it original? Terminator works so well because here you have a big, scary, cool, awesome robot guy who's awesome, but the film really is about Sarah Connor and her struggle as she tries to find a place in a world she used to call home. She's the core of the movie, but audiences already saw a strong female lead to a sci-fi film with a really cool bad guy in it 5 years prior with the original Alien. The Indiana Jones franchise is one of my favorite things ever, just anything, but it wouldn't exist without the old school serials that Steven Spielberg and George Lucas grew up with. To say art is inherently bad because it is inspired by or lifted off of something else is just a wild take that I will never ever agree with. It's like calling beatmakers plagiarists because they sampled something from the 1970s. You can tell me the Avatar films aren't original, or that they aren't interesting, or that they don't do anything you haven't seen before. I wouldn't believe you, of course, but I don't think you would even believe that. So you're looking for a film that really shifts the sci-fi and action genres on their head, huh? How did you feel about Ridley Scott's Prometheus? Or even Alien Covenant? Oh, you want something even more original? Looking for something even weirder and borderline experimental? How many of y'all know about Skinamarink? This movie also changed my life, but in a very, very bad way. Truly one of the scariest films I've ever seen. My point being, if you're looking for weird, subversive, out-of-the-box movies, why don't I see y'all logging them on Letterboxd? A lot of people have something I would call Avatar Derangement Syndrome. It's this disease thing where you become incapable of having a rational conversation about the Avatar franchise. Hey, have you seen Avatar? I thought it was pretty good.
Don't you mean Dances with Wolves with blue people?
Hey, Avatar 2 was pretty good. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Nobody cares about Avatar. Can you even name one character from the movies?
In what world is this a normal conversation to have about anything, let alone movies? Cultural impact.
That's what the money is for!
The movie made $2 billion. I hate to sound like I am a Disney stockholder. I'm not. I don't work for Disney. I don't represent Disney. I could care less if they make money or not. But surely somebody out there in the world cares about this franchise that has made approximately $4 billion. What's the cultural impact of Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon? Does anyone remember any great lines? Did anyone dress up as them for Halloween? Did millions of people flock to see this in theaters when it came out? The answer to that is no, 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 no. Is it still a modern masterpiece that is maybe one of the most timely pieces of art we've received from a legendary filmmaker of this caliber ever? Yeah. This is just something that really bugs me. It's not a good way to discuss art, and I think it's really reductive, and it's weird, and it's almost parasocial or antisocial. The internet has somehow overcomplicated the Avatar films while infantilizing the franchise's fan base, which is weird because at the end of the day, the Avatar films are meant to be action-packed, visually stunning, epic dad movies. The movie's simplicity isn't a bug, it's a feature. James Cameron is goated, but to say that he was ever more concerned with making airtight, wholly original films with deep narrative themes and genre-bending character moments than simply making a fun movie would be to lie. James Cameron is a household name.
Hi there, Jim Cameron here.
Not because he reinvented cinema, but because he understands it on a deep level. James knows what us humans care about. There's a reason you get emotional all these years later when watching Titanic. And there's a reason the non-robot characters are so fascinating in the Terminator films. James Cameron knows how to put a movie together, and it's frustrating to see people say he's wasting his talents with the Avatar franchise, because if anything, he's doing his best work yet. Alright, I guess I've spent enough time ranting. Let's actually talk about Avatar: The Way of Water. Contrary to what its detractors say, Avatar: The Way of Water is an amazing film full of fun characters, satisfying story beats, and of course, amazing visuals. The world design here is on a whole other level. I think shifting from pure jungle environments to the ocean was a very risky but ultimately smart move by Mr. James Cameron, and adds onto the whole Avatar mythos in a really interesting way. At its core, Avatar is about humans facing off against Mother Nature. Everybody's blue here, but James is telling a conservation, global warming type of story with these movies. James loves to show off how stupid and or ignorant humans can be, but this in turn helps us relate to the characters he creates. Jake Sully is by no means one of the most well-written characters in all of fiction, and at this point he's not even human, but there is something still really endearing about the way he raises his family. Shifting Jake from your standard military man to a tender-hearted father was an excellent choice, and it's this parental relationship that really served as the anchor for Way of Water. Neytiri has always been the face of the franchise, and she is great here too. Sam Worthington and Zoe Saldana really do pull out some great performances. It's a shame so much of the convo around Avatar comes down to their visuals, as these two carry this film in particular on their backs. The supporting cast is great too. It kind of feels weird to even call them supporting. Every character has a memorable moment in Way of Water that either pays off or leads to something greater down the line. It's fun to follow the children as they explore Pandora for themselves, but it's also fun to watch Stephen Lang chew the bioluminescent scenery up as an Avatar himself. That's right, everyone's favorite Call of Duty villain is back, and he's blue this time. This is another galaxy brain move from James Cameron. Too often will a franchise kill off a villain only to introduce a new one, but when you look back at classics like Star Wars, characters like Darth Vader were a threat for multiple movies. Sure, different conflicts and story arcs would arrive, but the original Star Wars trilogy is defined by its main characters, villains included. One thing I really love about the Avatar films is there's a clear balance to the world. A big part of what makes sci-fi work is the attention to detail of the world itself. The Avatar films are gorgeous, but there is a serious amount of work and thought put into making sure Pandora feels like an actual place you could go. I specifically love these little crab mech suit things that the RDA have. They have this cute little bar that they use to drop into the water. It's adorable. Much like how the UNSC have their own versions of Covenant weapons and vehicles in Halo, the humans in the Avatar films have very clear counters to the alien creatures they see before them. The Na'vi ride Banshees, and the RDA have these helicopter things. The Na'vi, or should I say the Metkayina, the water people, have these eel stingray hybrid things that they ride under the water. The RDA have their own submarines. There's so many fun little touches to this world, and I love that humans and the inhabitants of Pandora feel like two pieces of a giant puzzle. The Way of Water is also seriously underrated as an action movie. There are sequences so tough in this thing that you can't help but do this face. You know that meme of the guy sitting up in his chair when things get serious? Well, that wasn't me, because I was sitting in my seat like that the entire time. However, The Way of Water does something very unexpected and very cool in the middle of it all. Once the epic intro part is done, and before we get into kind of the tense finale part, James Cameron just lets the audience sit back and take in this big, beautiful world in a way that still surprises me each time I watch it. Of course, the action does eventually pick back up, with the final act of this movie being a non-stop thrill ride full of some of the best executed action set pieces of all time. But The Way of Water is as much a meditative piece of art as it is an epic dad action movie. To say that Avatar The Way of Water changed my life is a little bit silly, but it's kind of true. Something awakened in me once I saw this movie, like I regained consciousness. From the moment the movie started, I was completely on its wavelength. People simultaneously overthink and underestimate what James Cameron is doing with this franchise. Is it a nice paycheck for him? Most definitely. Does it raise shareholder value for the Walt Disney Company? You betcha. Is it still art? 100%. The thing that changed the most about the way I watch movies is that I don't go in expecting anything anymore. To say the director, the editor, the writer, or the actors owe the audience anything is to deny what movies are supposed to be. A singular work that makes you feel something. What it makes you feel is up to you. But when I watch Avatar The Way of Water, I feel happy, entertained, impressed, and inspired. All this to say, if you haven't yet actually dove into the Avatar franchise because you're worried it's some soulless, cash grab Disney IP slot blockbuster that they're gonna pump out every few years now, that's totally wrong. It makes a lot of money, it's a big blockbuster, it's a Disney IP, yeah. All that's true. But there is something really special and unique at the heart of the Avatar franchise that I think a lot of people miss or brush off. Please don't listen to the internet. Please don't listen to Reddit. Please don't listen to your friend. Listen to me. The Avatar films are genuinely fantastic sci-fi films, and I'm not exaggerating at all when I say that The Way of Water might be the piece of art I think about most often. This movie really excites me as a lover of movies, and I can't wait to see where it all goes. Assuming I'm alive by then. The series is likely going to continue for years and years and years, and I advise you hop on this train sooner rather than later. There just seems to be this misconception that the Avatar movies aren't art, or that they're just too simple for anyone to really care about. First of all, did you see Fantastic Four?
I don't know.
Second of all, I think going into a movie expecting something groundbreaking, earth-shattering, course-altering is ill-advised. Yes, Avatar 2 genuinely changed the way I watch and view movies as a whole, but I didn't go in expecting this to happen. I just went in wanting to be entertained, and hardly anybody knows how to do that better than James Cameron. I will always regret missing seeing the original Avatar in theaters in 3D and IMAX, even though I was basically an embryo at that point. Now that I've reached Unk status, I'm a lot wiser, and I know not to miss these epic, sprawling sci-fi spectacles when they make their way into my local theater. Just trust me, you aren't going to want to miss Avatar Fire and Ash in IMAX in 3D. I know it's corny, I know it's kind of gimmicky to say that IMAX 3D is the way to watch these movies, but it really is. And who are we to deny a director, a filmmaker, when he says this is the way to watch a movie? I think people are also scared to admit that seeing a movie on the big screen with a really loud sound system made the movie better. I can guarantee you Dune wouldn't have hit as hard if I didn't see it in IMAX, and the same with one battle after another. There's just something is missing if you turn these on your little tiny TV in your living room. So do some homework, go watch the Avatar movies, get yourself ready for Avatar Fire and Ash, because I will be seated with my tail, with my ears, blue face paint, blue body paint. I'm excited, and you should be too.